listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Taylor. Thank you, man. Appreciate you joining. So I find this time of year fascinating because it's fascinating for players, for executives, for teams, and everything else. You lived that life a couple years ago, right? About being dealt. But if you remember what the July is like for players, now that we've hit July, what's that like? Because players are probably no different than the fans and everything else in terms of trying to figure stuff out. What's it like for you? What has it been like for you?
Yeah, maybe the first couple of times you get traded, it feels weird because your world's upside down, and you got to do all the move-in and everything like that. But after you go through it a couple of times, you're just kind of, I wouldn't say numb to it, but you're just aware that it could happen. But yeah, with the playoffs being expanded, it definitely makes things a lot more interesting. With teams deciding buyers and sellers, it seems like it gets closer to the deadline when teams kind of prove their direction. But I think it's just part of the game, part of the business. And let's see, 2 out of my 3 trades I found out on Twitter before.
Did you really?
Before I was
oh my goodness! So one was at the deadline, and another was in the off season.
Yeah, my first one was on opening day.
Okay.
And then deadline, and then off season.
Okay, all right. I hate to bring back I've never been traded, so I don't know. So if we can go through each one, right? Yeah. So the first one's. Well, I've talked to enough guys where it's a weird feeling because it's like you're happy that the team, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're happy that the team wants you, but you're leaving your guys behind, the guys that you came up with, right? Yeah. So what was that? What take me through that circumstance?
Well, let's see. So the first one was Minnesota to San Diego.
Yeah.
That one was tough because I spent my whole career with Minnesota, and that's like your first girlfriend. Yeah, so that one was interesting, and I thought there was kind of like some scuttle during spring, but I thought since we broke camp and we're getting ready to start the season, I thought it was safe. So then that one was kind of more.
What was the date? Was it?
It was morning opening day.
That's crazy. I don't even that just never happens.
No. Well, and then actually, what the cool thing about baseball is one of the guys in the trade going the opposite direction was Emilio Pagan, and now we're teammates.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that one. Just how crazy it was that opening.
And so you said, was that one of the ones you found out on Twitter or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that one happened the night before.
Okay.
Twitter was kind of rolling, and nothing was official, and then the next morning is when it was official. So that happened, but and then the other one.
The next one was a deadline, right? Yeah.
Same year, the deadline. Yeah. So I was sitting on the couch, had MLB Network on, and I'd seen that the Padres had acquired Hader. I'm like, oh, this is cool. We're gonna be legit a little bit, and then come to find out I was leaving.
So when you're sitting on that couch, do you have everyone's sort of a little bit nervous, right? You just don't know.
Yeah.
But were you able to put it out of your mind? Did you have any idea? What was your feeling leading up to when you found out about it? Did you feel like had you been able to say, I'm not going to get traded?
I did. Yeah, I didn't think I was.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was. Just because it was a playoff team, and normally you don't subtract from playoff teams. You just normally add, right?
Yeah.
That one I wasn't ready for that one at all.
Tell me again, that was a Twitter one, or that was a...
That was also a Twitter one.
Again, just sitting on the couch looking at Twitter.
So obviously you see the news that Hader's coming to San Diego, so you grab Twitter or whatever, and start seeing your name on there, and you're like, oh, it might be me.
How long before you get a call from a non-Twitter person?
Yeah, it was, probably 20 or 30 minutes after.
Wow, that seems like a long time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess in that realm, it's an age. But, it just those things happen. It's like, AJ Preller called me. He's like, sorry, man, I tried to get to it before, Twitter could, but sometimes it's just out of your control.
Yeah.
Those things happen. But this past one, late January, early February, something like that. I was doing MLB Network radio. There was like the Players Week there.
Yeah.
So you do like an hour special on the radio, and normally do it with the Colorado guys, Lidge and Spilborgs. Been kind of been doing it the last few years. More of a tradition now that you just kind of do it. So we're talking about the Giants, and rolling through the Giants pen, and at the end we're kind of going over the Giants, and at the end of it I go, like our bullpen looks really good. I said, I honestly don't know where I fit in anymore. Like with these young guys and the guys that we already have, I said, I don't know where my innings are at yet, but we'll figure that out when spring happens. Anyway, radio show wraps up, and I look at my phone, and a bunch of missed calls. So I got Buster call. I called Buster back, and he goes, "Hey, I wanted to let you know before everybody else knew." And so I said, "I appreciate it."
Wow, you've run the gamut, man. Like, you're a good person to talk about this.
Yeah.
In terms of the different times. So to go back to the one where you're traded at the deadline, I just had on Lucas Erceg, who obviously went through it last year. And his wife had to deal with a trillion different things, and as a player, you have to worry about playing baseball. I think, is that the most difficult one because of that? I mean, it's exciting, I guess.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm in a good spot because it's just me. I don't have family around, so I don't have to uproot a whole lot.
Yeah.
You figure out when you're a left-handed reliever, on either an expiring deal or a one-year deal. Like I go month to month, find a place that does month-to-month rents.
Do you really? Yeah.
This time of year, you just pack a little heavier on the road trip just in case.
By the way, this is new insight. The single life of a lefty reliever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got every pair of underwear I own is in my suitcase right now. Just in case.
Really? And that'll be the case throughout July.
Yeah. I mean, not that. It's just preparing.
Yeah.
It's just it's after a couple times through, you're like, you know what? If this does end up happening, I would rather just not have to.
Yeah.
Go to the store and buy underwear.
Man, again, this is why I'm glad I'm talking to you. Like, I have no idea about this life,
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. And then, I think the hardest part, I figured this out along the way too, was like the first trade or even the second one. You get to the new spot and you want to learn everybody's name real fast and get the staff, and learn their names and figure out how kind of things work in that town or whatever. But that just comes with time. I learned not to force that. Go ahead. Yeah. You want to talk to the travel guy real quick, see if you can extend your hotel stay. You haven't quite found a place to stay yet in the city. Damn it, what's that travel guy's name? I forgot already. I've saved his number in my phone, but I can't find it. I don't remember his name. But so though I don't know, it's just.
It is true. I bet a lot of guys when their first trades put a lot of pressure on themselves to know names.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I gotta be a good teammate, I gotta leave a good first impression, I gotta know your name.
Right.
Probably, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but probably it's just hang in the corner and just do the job and then ease into it a little bit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the other part you figure out is the new team you come to, everybody's kind of used to it now.
Yeah.
So they're not expecting you to know anybody's names or anything right away either. So there's no pressure to do it. You put a self-inflicted pressure. But the cool thing that's been fun with the trades and stuff is you learn there's just so many good people around baseball.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest part is there's just good people everywhere.
That's such a great way to look at it. And I mean, honestly, doing this podcast, that's one of the great things about it, is that I get to talk to people like yourself, like other people, and you go to different cities and you talk to different, and I think we get so in the weeds, really, with the trade deadline stuff, right? it's a business. It's a business. It's a business. Like, well, okay, yeah, but let's baseball's awesome because of this other thing, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, did you realize that when you were younger? You know, like we're sitting here, and we're looking at an iconic field, and it's a nice day. It could be like 10 degrees cooler, but there's worse places to be.
There certainly is. Yeah, I realized it, I think, after the first trade, where you're with your original organization, you know everybody. I've been with them for 10 years total at that point. So you know all the staff, you know the people, that work in the offices, and you just think that it's just a great place to be, great organization, all that stuff, and it is. But then I get to San Diego and learn that it's just as good as people over there, and you can do things a little bit different, but everybody's still doing the same type of goals. You can just start to see that you don't stick around here if you're not just a good person.
Here's a wonky question, baseball-wise, and I've asked different guys this. When they go to a different place, a different team, one of the things, I think especially now, because teams are trying to stay ahead of the curve with analytics, with machines, with whatever. Like, how much different from, is it 4 organizations now? Yeah. How much, I would imagine they're pretty similar, but is there any differences when you got to an organization like they're trying to do this with me, which I hadn't done before?
No, I haven't ran into that really.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's just, they kind of give you some time to just be yourself. They're creating for you for a reason. They like what you have to offer. So there's no reason to go in there and do anything different. Same kind of thing, try to go in and freaking do really well. It's like, you're not going to...
Well, that's another thing.
...yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we haven't really run into that. I think, a lot of pitching coaches will give you some time, and as soon as you get to know each other a little bit, then you can talk shop, here and there. But that's what's been cool, too, is I've had 10 years in the pen. I've had 8 different bullpen coaches. So
wow.
You get time to learn how everybody else does it. Everybody has a different view of the game. Same thing, different terminology kind of deal. But I think it's just been fun to learn more from granted bigger audience. Another thing is, you want to leave a good first impression. It's human nature, right? Right. So this is probably on the top tier of this conversation. Like Torrey Hunter, I remember telling me when he went from Minnesota to the Angels, he didn't feel like he was part of that until he hit a grand slam, and then he contributed. And so you want to be the guy. Oh, this is why you traded for you. You have your new friends. You want to make a good first impression. You've had a few different first impressions. Like I don't know. Like I haven't looked it up to say, hey, like this is a good first impression. Like, but is that a thing too? Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah. Again, it's the human nature side of things. But on the flip side of it, everybody that is going to be on your new team is kind of aware of the situation you're in. And so they're not expecting too much of you either. We understand that this is a long season, a long grind, and you can have a bad day and a good day. And I think they really just care if you're a good teammate.
Yeah, that's really important. Have guys asked you about this dynamic, the stuff that we're talking about? Like, for instance, we just had a trade in June, which we almost never have. Probably a couple former team, or at least one former teammate of your, Kyle Harrison, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if anyone calls you, or he talks to you, say, hey, wow, I've never been traded. What's this like?
Yeah. No, there's not.
No.
But I mean, again, at the same time, there's not a magic word that's gonna, make it better or make it easier or make it worse. I think you're just gonna have to go through it, and everybody around you kind of knows what you're going through. But there's nothing that's gonna help you. Just gonna have to go through it.